Our services with military honors. Up forward towards your left, the Memorial Services Detachment will be firing 3 volleys. Please be aware that it is very, very loud and it may startle you. After that, we'll be sounding taps. At this time, if you're able, please rise. Please place your right hands over your heart. If you are a veteran, you may end salute. Thank you. You may be seated.
shore. A ship at my side spreads her white sails to the morning breeze and starts for the blue ocean. She's an object of beauty and strength, and I stand and watch her until at length she is a speck of a white cloud, just where the sea and the sky come to mingle with each other. Then someone at my side says, "There, she's gone." Gone where? Gone from my sight, that is all. She is just as large in mast and hull and spar as she was when she left my side, and she is just as able to bear her load of living weight to her destined harbor. Her diminished size is in me, not in her, and just at the moment when someone at my side says, "There, she's gone," there are other eyes watching her coming, and other voices ready to take up the loud shout, "There she comes!" Welcome, friends and family, to this very special service. We gather here today in memory of Dennis Skiles, and in honor and in celebration of his life with us. My name is Bea Arline, and I first met Dennis in the late 80s at Unity Village, where we were both students together. And then I met Paula as we became classmates in ministerial school. And it is my deep honor and my privilege to officiate this service today. We come together to affirm our faith in life eternal and to remember that the one that we loved as Dennis is so much more than the physical body that he used in his time with us. We come to remember him as a living, eternal soul, continuing now on the pathway of eternal life, ever one with the love of spirit, ever one, and ever in spirit's gentle and loving care. We join to form a community of support for his wife, Paula, his wife of 28 years, and of his family, and of the friends gathered here together, and to support one another in the grieving of our loss, and in love and support and faith and celebration of Dennis's time with us. The time constraints of this service this morning don't really allow me to go into great detail of Dennis's amazing, amazing life and all the things that he has done in this lifetime. He's a loving husband, a loving son, loving father, loving cousin, loving friend. His life here was one of service and of bravery, whether it was on the battlefield of Vietnam, where he earned 2 Bronze Stars, a Silver Star, 2 Purple Hearts, and an Army Commendation Medal for Valor as a medic on the battlefields, or whether it was on the battlefield and in the Fellowship of Recovery for nearly 30 years, where he once again was instrumental in the saving the lives of so many suffering from alcoholism and drug addiction, or whether it was in his role as a Unity minister, where he touched the lives of so many. The hats that Dennis wore in this lifetime go on and on and on. One of the challenges that we meet in life is the challenge of change. And surely one of the greatest changes that we face, and indeed the most mysterious of all changes that we face in our earthly experience, is the one that we call death or transition. We often speak of death as a mystery, but it's life that is the true mystery. And yet we remember that life is conscious growth in spirit. We can know that death or transition, as we use the term in Unity, because we believe that it infers the process that we make in the transition of our spirits from an earthly form to true spirit. We can know that death or transition is but one experience in the journey of the soul, and it's one step in our growth to know ourselves as individualized expressions of spirit. We are created in the image and after the likeness of our Creator, whose true identity is spirit, and so also our true identity is spirit. We may know or believe this, and yet we still grieve. Does that mean that we don't know or believe because we grieve? I don't think so. I think it's natural for the human heart to grieve when it's deprived of its daily association with a beloved person, with Dennis. We can acknowledge our pain and our sorrow and seek divine comfort in spirit and with one another. I believe that grief is a spiritual solvent of the soul that allows us to move from one stage to the next, and that we don't need to avoid that grief. Rather, we can embrace this grief, as painful as it is, and know that it's a part of the healing and the adjustment process that we go through in our own souls, and that its work is sacred and holy. We can honor that grief and let it do its healing work in us to help us move through time, even as Dennis now moves on in the journey of the soul. During our time of grief, we can know and remember that in the light of truth, the body is really only one expression of the soul, the vehicle expression of the loving heart and the wonderful person that we knew as Dennis, an expression of the loving and responsive mind and heart that we loved so much about Dennis. Life being an extension of spirit into creation can in no conditions be lost. Life is eternal. It never ceases to exist. It can't be lost or discarded any more than spirit can. Days or months or years are not the true measure of a soul, but rather a human accounting of time. Though we may anguish in the experience of a life that feels too short to us, or incomplete with dreams that we had left, we remember that in spirit the life of each soul is immeasurable. It's from everlasting to everlasting. Our experience of life may change, but life continues, and it continues to spring from the eternal fount that is spirit. According to the scriptures, when Jesus arrived at the tomb of his friend Lazarus after he had died, what was the first thing Jesus did? If we read the scriptures, we know, we are told Jesus wept. We can all relate to that. We've all wept, and we weep still. But after Jesus finished weeping, the first thing that he said was, "Take away the stone." After his initial response at a human level, Jesus chose to respond from a higher level. And he turned to the indwelling spirit and he said, "Take away the stone." Just like Jesus, our way shower, we are also spiritual beings having a human experience, and it's healthy and healing and human to grieve and to weep. Because to weep is to release, to let go. And letting go is the first step before letting God.